Now today, we are going to learn about maintaining classroom discipline. Discipline! Correlated with controlling student teaching.
The vast majority of behavior problems in the classroom involve minor breaches of discipline.
Really? In my classroom, they involved guns and
These incidents
drugs.
frequently originate in the classroom situation itself and are within the control of the teacher.
Oh dear God!
Disciplinary
he's flinging
problems in the
things at
classroom
people.
are symptoms of underlying weaknesses in total learning situation.
Underlying weaknesses in total learning situation.
Mr. Grimes, mathematics teacher, is displeased with the progress of his ninth
It's
grade class in
grimy.
mathematics.
Grimy.
You see what low grade you made on your weekly mathematics test? More than half of you failed. Most of those who passed just got by. Nobody had 100%.
You kids are
This is
dumbasses.
the poorest class I've had in a long, long time.
And you're dumbasses.
Most of you have no foundation at all. Now, the trouble's with your attitude. You don't pay enough attention in class. You don't do enough work outside of it.
And I'm
You don't
grimy.
know what the
I
word
know all
study
about
means. You haven't the slightest idea. Don't you realize that mathematics is an important subject? I tell you right now that unless you get over your lazy habits and come up to the standards I've set for this class, many of you will have the pleasure of
Sorry.
repeating this course next semester. Oh, what is it?
Damn. Grimy's kind of a dick. Poor Grimy.
All right, that's all. I have to leave for a few minutes. Now, I want you to open your books and work out correct solutions to the problems you missed.
Poor Grimy. And his dumbass students.
I can't make any sense out of this. I might as well quit. Gee, he never even took up this third problem. It's a jip.
He's got me scared to death. I'll just never pass this course. What's the use of taking this stuff anyway? I'm afraid to take my paper home.
He's just a sourpuss.
No, he's Grimy.
The trouble is, you don't know what the word study means. You haven't the slightest idea. Oh, dry
What's this? What kind of behavior do you call this? Wait a minute, you stay where you are. This is the kind of behavior I might have expected of you. All I do is leave the room for a few minutes, and what do I find? Confusion, disorder. And you, what
I
are you
love
doing?
this video.
I was...
This guy's so like
going
pissed
to
off
what?
and
Throw the
indignant.
eraser, I suppose.
Like, fuck
Good
you
thing I
all,
caught you.
you're
I'll make an example out of
dumbasses.
you.
I'm better than
That's
you.
enough out of you. Leave this room and report to the principal's office immediately.
And you dumbasses do
Well, hurry
work.
up. Don't take all day.
It's like, what the hell, man?
Who did that?
It doesn't matter because I'm Grimy.
All right, since you think it's so funny, the whole class can stay in for 45 minutes this afternoon.
I love
Then
this
you'll see
guy.
how
I
funny
really
it is.
do.
Remember,
this
the whole
guy's
class is to
hilarious.
report
He
back here
just
at
totally
4
needs
o'clock.
laid. Laid or
Oh,
drugs or alcohol.
I can't
Maybe you
come
should
up
take
in
up
newspaper
smoking.
to do. I got football practice.
Something
You
to
can go play
relax
kite.
him so he is
I
not
don't
so
care.
grimy.
I think he's horrible.
Stop that whispering.
Dear God, not whispering. They'll take over the world with whispering.
Mr. Grimes did not have a happy time of the week.
Who dropped that book?
Seriously, someone dropping a book and you're like annoyed. I'd be like, oh, you dropped a book. You're retarded.
All
We
right,
know
I'll
you're
wait till you're
dumbass.
quiet.
What kind of rod does Grimy have up his ass in this video?
Many of you failed to hand in your homework yesterday. Now, you know that... What is this? Stop that noise.
He's doing his elephant impersonation. Dear God,
2
no.
detentions. 3 detentions.
8
Leave this
detentions.
room and don't come back until you're ready to apologize to me.
I had teachers like this in school. Not to name names, Mrs. Hoffman.
Well,
But I
this
had
is going to
teachers
get
like
us
this in
nowhere.
school.
Maybe we'd better go back to see if we can
weren't as
find
awesome
some of
as
the causes
Grimy,
of this undesirable learning
But,
situation.
you know, Grimy just has that stick up his
Just
ass.
what was Mr. Grimes' purpose in making such statements as these?
This is the poorest class I've had in a long, long time.
This is
college
hardly the way to win
dumbasses.
friends or influence people.
Which they
You don't know
are.
what the word study means. You haven't the slightest idea.
Might not be a bad idea to show them how.
That's
I
right,
tell you right now
Grimy.
that unless you get over your
Go to
lazy
each of
habits
their
and come
houses
up to the
and show
standards
them
I
to
had set for this
study.
class, many of you will have the pleasure of repeating this course next semester.
What kind of motivation is this? To what
That's
does
good
it lead?
motivation. You don't want to deal with
The
Grimy
trouble
again.
is, you don't know what the word study means. You haven't the slightest idea.
This reaction is the answer. It was the result of Mr. Grimes' provocative remarks. Now, take this.
It's a good thing I caught you. I'll make an example out of you.
Oh, come
I
now,
will
Mr.
hang you
Grimes.
and torture
By
you
taking
and-
it out on the boy, aren't you covering up a symptom of your own deficiency?
No, he's covering the fact that he's got a stick up his ass because he's
Who
Grimy.
did that?
Yes, who did? Some boy, probably. But the chances are it summarizes the feelings of the group. There is an unwritten code covering such situations. Why try to buck it?
All right, since you think it's so funny. The whole class can stay in for 45 minutes this afternoon.
Mass punishment is a dangerous weapon and doesn't work too well.
Poor Grimy.
2 detentions.
8 detentions.
3 detentions.
He likes giving
Leave
detentions.
this room and don't come back until you're ready to apologize to me.
It's a long way to the end of the term.
Grimy needs a whip.
When will this end?
Or to hit people with sticks.
Thus, what should have developed into a
'Cause
sequence
he's
of
grimy.
pleasant and valuable learning experiences had deteriorated into a series of disagreeable and injurious personal tensions.
This narrator likes
This
a
is
lot of
all
big
wrong.
words.
Need any of these incidents have occurred at all?
Yes, because he's Grimy. And Grimy is awesome.
Suppose Mr. Grimes had tried another approach.
Most of you are disappointed in the low grades you made on this test. So am I. Nearly all of you had trouble with that last problem on ratio. Now, perhaps I didn't do a good job explaining ratio. Now, ratio is commonly used in everyday life. Mother uses it in the kitchen when she takes a recipe for a big cake and uses proportional amounts of ingredients to make a little cake, or vice versa. But let's suppose a recipe called for 8 cups of flour and 4 eggs. I wanted to make a cake half that size. How much would I use?
You'd need 4 cups of flour and 2 eggs.
That's
I like how
right.
they don't raise their hands.
You
in
boys
Grimy's
use it in the
class
shop when you read a
anymore.
blueprint.
They just jump
As
up
you
and
know,
say
a blueprint's
stuff.
merely a scale drawing of something that's usually larger. Suppose I had a blueprint of a bridge that's going to be 100 feet wide. But on this drawing, the bridge is only 10 inches wide. Now, how many feet would each inch represent?
I don't know,
10 feet.
Grimy.
That's right. Now, that's ratio. Now, let's see where we made our mistakes.
I like
The problem
Dick
was this.
Grimy better.
What is the ratio between 4.5 yards and 1.5 feet?
You know,
Now,
feet
you
is
looked
an F,
hurriedly
not a
at
T
4.5
and an R.
and 1.5, said the answer was 3. Now, that's where you fell into a trap. What you forgot was that before you can divide, you have to reduce all units of measurement to the same unit. Now, what's the unit here?
Feet?
That's right.
By golly, I sure fell for that one.
First of all, let's change 4.5 yards into feet.
Most Americans can't do this. That's why they get it wrong.
That gives us 13.5
Feet
feet.
is apparently now
And now we can
TT.
divide 13.5 feet by 1.5 feet.
I like Dick Grimy. He was funny.
The right answer is 9.
9!
Wow, I see where I made my mistake.
Now, I want you to look over your papers very carefully and see where you made your mistakes. I'll come down the aisles, and if there are any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Yes?
No, from Dr. Williams.
I don't think it's an ulcer like Dick Grimey had.
All right, thank you. I have to leave for a few moments. On page 15 of your books, the first 3 problems are exactly like number 1 on the test. Suppose you do as many as you can until I get back.
My nephew asks me what suppose means every day. He's building a vocabulary, and not a very good one. But he does know several swear words, so it's okay.
I get the idea now. I sure messed up my test paper. I'm glad he's going over these questions. I'd never make head or tail out of them otherwise. You know, I'm beginning to get some sense
I
out
had
of
teachers like this in school, too.
I hope I do better next time.
Not to mention
I'd hate to bring
names.
another paper like this home. The way he explains it, it doesn't seem too hard.
No, I'm seriously not mentioning names. They'll have to figure it out for
Oh,
themselves.
come on, cut it out. I want to
And
do
none of
these
them were
problems.
named Grimey.
Oh, let's have some fun while Mr. Grimes is out. Who wants to do these old problems anyway?
The rest of the class.
Now, you know where that border eraser belongs. That's where I put it there.
Grimes sure caught him in the act.
Oh, Grimes is a pretty good egg.
Poor Grimey. I guess he's trying to be
that's
more
more
like
like it.
Homer Simpson in this.
Now you're getting it. Let's see if you can do the next one.
Classroom control and learning efficiency are products of good teaching.
Yes, they are.
Learning must be made meaningful.
Yes, it
Interest
should.
in work for which learners see a purpose provides its own discipline.
I don't see a
But
purpose.
in spite of interest and meaning, it must be remembered that some incidents will occur.
Life has no meaning.
Skill in handling such occurrences prevent their growth into problems.
Oh, that was a pretty good catch. For a moment, I thought you'd miss.
I'm sorry, but I owed him the apple.
He
Oh,
owed
I
him
guess
an
the fellow
apple.
expected to pay his debts. I'd suggest, though, in the future, you do your baseball practicing outside of class.
A friendly
owing
attitude
people
with a
apples.
sprinkling of humor
Who the hell
goes a
borrows
long way
apples?
toward winning the regard and cooperation of the class.
Poor 40s
respect
kids.
Is a
borrowing
more
apples.
desirable molder of behavior than fear. The development of mutual understanding between teacher and pupils will help eliminate disciplinary problems.
The end. So that, everyone, was the story of Grimey, and how he went from being a dick to not being a dick. We see the credits now, which I'm making you watch. Acknowledgements. There's some guy named Shorling. I want to know who played Grimey. Well, that's it. We don't get to find out who played Grimey.